Hey guys, what's going on? Benji again. Another exciting installment of Fancy Week we got going on here. Been posting videos every day for like a week on different things, various things. Been working on a lot of stuff and playing with a lot of stuff. So I wanted to do another sound font review. I have quite a few sound fonts that I haven't reviewed yet. Lots from Kyberphonic Fonts. My buddy Jesse, he hooked me up with a few for my birthday, and I've been on a long quest to just collect all of his fonts for the past however long he's been doing it. Oh man, at least a year now. I don't know. It's been a minute. But he's come out with a lot of fonts, and I've always been. I'm a font fanboy. You guys should know that by now. Half my videos are sound font reviews sometimes. But I was like, you know what? I can use this time to catch up on some sound font reviews. Sometimes it's actually kind of hard because I get lately a lot of people have been hitting me up with fonts for them to test out and review, and I love it so much. But like sometimes I'm like, oh man, hold on. I try to get them out as fast as possible. I don't like to sit on them for very long, and which is funny enough because Jesse actually hit me up with his. He just did a unstable update, and I was like, I got to do that one next. But I'm looking for a really good unstable effect before I do that. So while I was fooling around with the config in the latest version of the CFX, I was messing around with colors and doing all this different stuff. And I was like, oh man, I haven't made a white blade set. And then it just hit, and I was like, and I have code Fulcrum that I got from Jesse for my birthday this last week. He gave me a couple fonts, and that was one of them that I was like, I need it, I don't have it. And I was swinging it around, and I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty, it's great. It's for those of you who've never seen Rebels or Clone Wars. If you haven't watched this is the TV show, the animated show. There's a character named Ahsoka Tano. She was Anakin's apprentice, and she was really annoying the first like episode or two, and then the character just grew and became like I love Ahsoka Tano. We'll be seeing a lot of her in Star Wars. I think she's just she became a fan favorite, at least to my knowledge. I have like one friend who doesn't like her, and I'm like, how can you not like Ahsoka Tano, man? Like, she's got such great character growth. But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Clone Wars and then Rebels, both done by Dave Filoni, my dude, guy just kills it. Every story he tells, I'm totally into. Ahsoka Tano shows up in Rebels, again, spoilers, and she has two white sabers, two blades, and I was like, white, okay, like that's crazy. And then I grew to love them, and the sounds are just completely different. So I have code Fulcrum sound font that I'm going to review real quick, show you guys the goods, and then I'm going to show you the blade. And the blade is, I mean, I was like, oh my god, it's blinding. I finished this guy up yesterday, did a video. She's one of my favorites at the moment. Just a lot of work went into it, and I really love it. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch my video. Shame on you for not watching my videos as soon as they come out. I'm kidding. But still working on it. Still working on a blade plug. I don't have the NeoPixel connector, and I don't use stocks. I don't use stocks. Lit PCB ones. I haven't tried it yet. I plan on in the future, but let's go ahead and get going with the font. And I'll get to the blade demo. So
sound bank selection.
That scene, man. That's why you gotta watch the Clone Wars and then get to Rebels. Oh, it's one of the greatest. It's such a good payoff.
It was foretold that you would be here. Our long-awaited meeting has come at last.
Very quick, very distinctive hum. Very tin-like. Rebels is kind of known for having this weird pitch hum in most of the sabers. That's your smooth swing. There's your hybrid swings, accent swings. Tano killer bees. But it does. It sounds very winding, very. I don't know, man. It's very different. Do we have different prions in different locations or different power-ons? We do. Okay. CFX. Again, guys, this is on the CFX. I always wait till about 6 minutes in to tell you guys some details that you might need to know. The CFX, the Profi, Profi. That's what Jeff Hextech Sabers. I call it Profe because it's fancy, and you don't know what I do here. We get fancy. This is fancy week. I'm gonna be fancy. And the Verso, which is something that these font makers have been doing lately. If you get a font by them that's a smooth swing algorithm, which most of the fonts nowadays are leaning towards smooth swing. I had someone comment on one of my, I think the Crucible sound font that I did review for. They wanted it on their Ultra Sabers board, and I was like, I'm sorry, buddy, like it's that's not smooth swing technology. So I mean, I don't think that he makes the font for that, but yeah. So you get these fonts, and you have all these different boards. These sound font makers are including the files for that soundboard. So it's just easier to I buy it for CFX, throw the sound font on CFX. I have a Profe, I have a Profi board. I load up. I take the folder of Profi and put it on there, Verso, and so on. But the CFX has power-ons depending on orientation that you hold the board. There's 4 different orientations: up, side, down, and it'll have different activations, which is one of my favorite things about the CFX. I think it's really cool. Awesome. They're all very quick. Alright, guys. Let's do it. Almost at the 8-minute mark. Oh, man. Getting better at putting the blade in. Yeah, there was a live going back to my buddy Jeff at Hextech. He did a live video, and he was talking about time stuff and how long he was trying to make a video longer than Tom's at Make Tooth Sith or something like that. And it was like 49 minutes, and I was like, I usually wait this long to put the blade in my videos, and he was like, oh my god. So 8 minutes 30 seconds I'm turning this blade on. But here we go, guys. This thing is I love it. Okay, I love it. And it is bright. That's that white blade for you. Oh, man. Okay, so lockup, I have a localized lockup, and I have a spark on white ignition in my settings. Obviously, this is a white blade. I don't really know what color to use. Maybe for like a flash on flash and a lockup, I might do like a cyan or something really bright, something light. But I was like, man, all white all day long with this blade, and it wouldn't. You have a white blade in this, and you're swinging this font around. I guess me just being an Ahsoka fan, it feels good. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what that. Because I associate the sound with that blade color, white. So when I hear that sound, I'm like, if it was on like a blue one, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But when as soon as I put white, change the config to a white blade, I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, and it looks good too. This saber looks good in white. Look at that. Man, this sucker's bright. Blasters. Again, you're not going to really see them. I don't know if you can see any of the movement going on. Kinda. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Not at all. Not at all for that one. It would be right about here. But you might be able to kind of see the... Yeah, see? You can see that. It's very subtle. I mean, look how bright this thing is. Ridiculous. Come on, let's see. Look at the room. Alright, different orientation power-ons. Oh, did you hear that one? Let's go that one more time. Oh my god. Man, I'm sure that drains the battery like crazy. For those of you wondering, I'm sure maybe somebody in the comment section will ask how I achieved such a crazy thing like a white blade. Like I spent years dedicating time and studying, and I was like, how do I get this white blade? Just skip past all that and just use my settings. If you take, because you got RGB in your color profiles, you'll have the first three numbers: red, green, blue. Max them all out. That's all you do. All three colors: red, green, and blue, at full volume, at full power. It's a 1023 setting. 1023 all the way down, and you achieve white. Oh, or battery level. There we go. Sorry, guys. But I love the way this saber looks in white. I don't know why. It just gives it more of like a. I don't know. It feels right. Let's get some force waves. Some pushes. Yeah, force pushes. One more time for you. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. Man, look at that thing. It's good stuff. Whew. I love it. Alright. Yeah, when she meets, when that scene right there that's playing right now. Oh, I'm a grown man, dude. You shed a little tear watching that show. It's so good. It's just a payoff. That's why you gotta watch Clone Wars and then Rebels. You gotta get that long story, that long con. That build up is just so good, and there's so much emotion into that fight, and that's why they're better fights. That's why Rebels has like two of my favorite lightsaber fights ever, and it's like emotions. It's not just flips and whatnot. It's literally like, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna fight each other. You love each other, stuff like that, man. I mean, like, it's such a great show, and I highly recommend it. At first, I was a little thrown off by the Clone Wars animated show. For the animation, I was like, this kind of seems childish. And then after like a couple episodes, I was like, this is not really for kids. This is like, I'm in, and I binged the whole thing. This was like 6 years ago, but definitely recommend watching those too. And if you got Disney Plus, man, what are you doing? What are you doing on my channel? Go watch those, and then come back and be like, you were right. So I'll see you guys in like 2 days. If you put the time in, the quarantine time in. Let's go ahead and listen to some of the tracks. We've got 4 tracks, I think. Four tracks. And y'all know me. 3 tracks. Y'all know me by now. I am a sucker for the music on lightsabers. I think it's cool. I think it puts you back in the scene. What's the word? I don't know. Music gives me like a feeling and a memory. So it enhances the experience for me. So let's play some music. Yeah, dude, this is when Vader shows up. Just very ominous horns going on. All right, next one. Because I'd let that ride. This is like, oh, I know what part this is. Beautiful music. Small this saber is, man. I'm proud of this one. Alright, next one. Yeah, she's like, get back. Alright, let's see if I can get another boot. Because there's one that I love. It's whenever her and Vader are talking.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
That was such a sick part. Oh, it's such a sick part. Man, that part. It still gets me, man. I watched it not long ago. I went and rewatched Rebels all the way through. I think when Disney Plus was announced and when I got it, I was like, all right, because I thought The Mandalorian was going to be like a binge, like one day, and you can just. I was like, cool, I'll watch 13 hours of The Mandalorian. I don't care. And then I was like, wait, it's weekly, and I was like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, you know what, Rebels, man, and I flew through Rebels again. It was great. So that scene where she is talking to him, and she's. I've said spoiler alert. If you're 18 minutes in and you're like, how dare you spoil it? Your fault. Whenever Vader is like, he sits there, like they're facing off, and they're kind of having a conversation, and he says, yeah, that like revenge is not the Jedi. Or, yeah, basically like Anakin Skywalker was weak, I destroyed him, and she's like, well then I'll avenge his death, and he's like, revenge is not the Jedi way. And she's like, suck it, man, I ain't a Jedi, and she has like both sabers, which is one of the coolest saber ignition, like, let's do this, aside from Obi-Wan's in Rebels again. She has two sabers that she uses. She has them connected, and then she ignites them, and they both come out. It's so good. Go watch it. I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, anyways, enough rambling on about the sound font. The sound font can be purchased in the link below. I'll leave it in the description. Kyberphonic Fonts. And go out there, guys. Pick it up. If you had the Ahsoka Tano hilts, I don't know how you don't have that font. That's just criminal in my opinion. But the font is still cool no matter what, man. It's going to be on a lot of my... It's going to pretty much be stock on most of my sabers now. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you guys in the next video coming up very soon. I'm hoping to keep Fancy Week rolling. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you there.